That was good, boys. We have finished season 1 of 7 Deadly Sins, and I have a ton of theories, so I just kind of want to go over them and just my predictions before I start the next season, or what I think might happen, where I think characters might go, what I thought of season 1. We're just going to yap about a bunch of stuff. I haven't really done one of these videos in a very, very long time, so let me know if you guys want to see more of this content, if you want to, maybe we do it after every season, or, you know, we just keep it more to in the episodes. See how it goes. But I enjoyed the absolute living shit out of season 1. It was peak the whole time. The only thing that I don't like about it is the whole Meliodas and perviness and stuff like that, but I haven't liked that in just anime in general, so it's just kind of the standard at this point, it feels like. But generally though, I feel like majority of the season, it had very, very good pacing. The whole, do I even need to mention this? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like majority of the season had very good pacing for everything. They kept ramping things up like as we went along with it. Like it started off like decent, it was like pacing ramped up and ramped up and ramped up, and then they're like second half of it just kept on scaling up, and it was just, oh, we had like this little thing, this little hint to something, this little hint to something that only if you like recognize this one line, you pay attention, came back later on, or they like told you without telling you stuff, and it was very satisfying when moments happened. Like, you know, the guild reveal. There are a lot of moments where it felt very satisfying, and a lot of reveals where I'm like, I didn't expect the show to do that, because majority of it up until that point was like pretty basic plot, but just done really, really well. So it was just a fun journey the whole time. But then it just scaled up towards the end, and it made me fully invested, to say the least. I mean, I already was beforehand, but it just kept on getting better and better and better. And you guys keep gassing up season 2, so it's gonna get better and better and better. Anyway. So, with the 7 Deadly Sins, right, we do know of, like, out of the characters that we have so far, we've got 6 that have been introduced. We still have 1 more to go, which is the Escanor dude. And we've had Kingsby revealed, and we've had Barnsby revealed. The rest of the others we haven't yet, though. So, it's going to make this very interesting, to say the least. I feel like one of my main things after finishing the season and after the end of it is there are a lot of things which I feel like I need to talk about, or I feel like I need to go into with Gowther. Because his sin, we don't know about yet, of course, but his sin is lust or desire. There's a lot of intriguing things or intriguing hints to where this character could go, and I feel like there's 2 characters in the show right now, which I think they could do a plot twist and could like switch them to being like villains or evil. And I think at the moment, for me, I could see Gowther, and I could also see Merlin. Gowther because bro doesn't have any emotions or anything, and psychopathic tendencies, to say the least. And Merlin because we've only seen like an episode or so of her, so I can't judge her character enough yet. But Gowther is just so interesting. His abilities of the fact that he can manipulate anybody. He can manipulate their memories, right? He can manipulate the way they act. And the way he's acted so far has been, you know, no emotions, very psychopathic. And it's like, I could easily see them flipping this character to being a villain, or a villain portion of him. Because I feel like with what we saw with him when he was in the Alan form, when he changed into, you know, Alan, and like him, you know, him reading all the books, him trying to learn human emotions and stuff like that, I could easily see him doing some crazy things, or some things to try to learn about these emotions or to feel these things. Like as we saw at the end of the season, where him and I forgot her name, but the one that wears the pink in the night, and I don't remember her name, but we saw like him be with her at the end of the season. So yeah, we saw her at the end of the season with him, and then that creepy ass scene with the whole like, you know, glasses down and like, ugh. But mainly I feel like he could easily be manipulating her, or be manipulating the situation so that he experiences things like love or like a family, or so he can figure out how these like emotions work. And because he doesn't know, you know, boundaries and context, and that what he could be doing is, he could easily go to the extreme to be like, oh, I want to feel these things. I want to feel these things. How do I feel these things? Let me manipulate people. Let me feel this. You know what? If they're not going to get with me in the first place, let me make that happen for myself. And I just feel like with how his character is, the way he's acted, it could very much easily be that way, to say the least. There's also other things with him as well. Like, he's definitely not human, because his head completely came off, and he was holding it while he was talking, right? But the show tried to play it off as like he got revived or like he came back with Elizabeth. But that's not how other people came back. It's not really how I don't think it works. I feel like the show just tried to like push that down, tried to cover it up a little bit. So I don't think this dude is human, even slightly. I just don't know what he could be. That's the thing. But I definitely feel like if there was a character that which was going to switch up, which was going to potentially, I don't think it would be the main villain of the next season, but it could be like a side quest villain. It could be, you know, it could be something like that. Because I still feel like the main villain will be like the demons and stuff, but we'll get into that. I feel like they could definitely make him into this because of the way he's been acting and the hints towards it. There's also like the fact that Merlin made the armor for him to keep his powers at bay. I have a screenshot here. Let me pull it up. And Merlin said, by the way, Gowther, where's that armor I gave you? And he was like, shit, I broke it. It's like, I see. We have to get you another suit as soon as I can. Like, that is a big priority after the battle happened. And this was some other stuff we had before, like that it keeps his powers from running rampant. The price for breaking the seal will be a steep one. Humans, like the fact that he said humans and his head came off, like there's been hints towards the character like with this so far. So I feel like we're just keeping it his powers at bay. Look at this motherfucker, creepy as shit, bro. Oh my god. And like I think it's kind of obvious the way his character is with like that he's trying to connect, he's trying to feel these emotions, he's trying to, you know, be human or act like a human for the meantime to potentially, you know, feel these things or get his way or whatever it is. It's just that the fact that we need to do this ASAP. We need to get him back in the suit now. The thing is, there might be abilities that he has that we haven't even seen yet as well. So that could also lead into different things with manipulation. I just feel like it's definitely leading towards this dude's gonna go rampant and gonna go wild, but only to like experience these things or to try act more human because that's what he wants. But the reason why he wants that can also be something entirely, I don't know what that is. That could also lead into something completely else. But I feel like with everything they've hinted towards, that's where the plan is going. That's where the character's going. I feel like that's it for Gowther. So I think that's where Gowther is going to go. The thing is, for his actual sin, though, that's the one where I don't really have a theory on. What the horrific thing that he did that's bad is. Or whatever, you know, whatever his sin is actually going to be. I feel like I know where the character is probably going to go. I just don't know what his like actual sin is. But very interesting character nonetheless. I do like him. He's like one of my favorites so far. Merlin with her sin being gluttony. So I think we've only really seen her like one episode, so there's not really too much I can really speculate on. The small things that we've seen with her is definitely just a lust, overconsumption of power, a need for power, or a want for just further. I want more and more and more and more and more and more of her mage stuff. I don't really know what you'd call it. But the fact that we kept the demon alive, the gray demon, rather than killing it so she can experiment, the fact that she did some experiments in the demon realm, she did that demon realm technique to heal the king. I feel like it's something where she did too much shit with that, you know. She just kept on wanting more and more and more and more of that. To what extent that goes, who knows? But from the small amount that we've seen of her, I feel it's kind of obvious that that's where she's going. Her actual like sin particularly, I don't really have any theories. Probably once we get to see her more, it'll be more interesting. We'll come up with some more. So I got from Merlin so far. What's the next one we got? Diane, the envy sin. I actually really like the fact that we haven't completely got everybody's backstory yet, but they've kind of like given us enough where it's like you're investing in these characters, but it's like there's more to them, so they can dive into it further, and they can switch up how they act, and they can really make the next portion of the series very interesting, I feel like. But it's definitely, you know, her sin is envy. To say the least, she's constantly jealous of Liz. I don't know, I feel like I said this at the beginning of the series when we reacted to it, but it was her personality switches up very quickly when it comes to that, and I don't know, I feel like because her sin's envy, it's not just a thing of you know, regular jealousy. There's something more to it, something more deep down than just that. If she was a different sin, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's just regular character being jealous like that. But she just, you know, she kind of wilding, bro. There was one point she was like, you know, when she was like the small form in the festival, she's like, oh, have my babies, dude. Like, what? It's crazy. Anyway, the also other thing with it is like, the fact that she doesn't remember the stuff with King, which is probably is because of King and erasing the memories and stuff like that, potentially. But we don't know, like, post King up until when she becomes part of the sins, if she remembers any of that stuff, or if she's still blocking that out. Because she's blocked out the King stuff. Did she block out everything else in between? There's no other giants we've seen in the series so far, which seems odd. Like, did she do some unintentionally to the giants, or intentionally, and then she blocked it out, so she just crazy as. There was also this thing in the festival where they mentioned a name, Matrona, something like that, was a person she once knew. So I don't know if that is like leading towards she faintly remembers that, if that's in between, what's it called? If that's in between King and Meliodas, in between doing the sins, I imagine. But the fact that she doesn't remember, or they haven't told us about, I feel like is very, very telling. The whole giant thing though, we haven't seen anything to do with giants yet, which I'm like, what's going on, bro? What's going on? There are no other giants? Then she was being alone her whole life. Like, nobody found the giants? Like, is she really the last one? Did she kill them all? Did some shit happen unintentionally? Like, I feel like something very, very scarring happened that she just blocked it out. She's been alive for hundreds of years, so you would expect her in these hundreds of years to be able to like have some hint, or just be able to find more of her kind, you know what I mean? Like, even King found it, you know? Even King eventually figured out, you know? There was also, when the Matrona name was mentioned, it seemed like the way that she like, the way it was framed, there was like a bit of a distaste towards the name. Like, somebody I once knew, and then she like looked away, and like, I don't know if her face was like kind of angry, or it's kind of like, I don't know, it seemed like a distaste towards it, like some, or something towards that. I don't really know. There's also, I mean, I could be really looking into this a little bit, but which was doing the backstory with Elizabeth, and like the knights were trying to kill her, and she called the humans a wimpy race, and that could just be, you know, her just talking, peak talking. Or is it like something else that she blocked out, like post-King stuff? I don't know. I feel like whatever her sin is, she doesn't remember, because she's just out of sight, out of mind. I feel like that's most of my theories about Diane. They could definitely make her character very interesting with this whole envy thing, and potentially whatever her sin is. So I'm very much looking forward to where that goes. That's all I gotta say with that, I think. Looking for attention and someone to love. I blame King for not expressing his feelings to her and making her suffer chasing a taken man just to feel love and affection. You blame King for not expressing his feelings? I don't know. I mean, in the OVA, the portion of the OVAs that we watched, she seems very dense when it comes to these emotions. And even when it comes to, like, the fact that she led King on is kind of wild. And it's like, is she really that dense? Or is it just like she likes the attention? Well, what could it be, you know? Because she literally led that man like, it was like we went to, you know, they had the date that was planned. We went to the fireworks, we started that, and then we hardly got any time into it, and she was like, oh, Captain probably needs me back at the tavern. I'm going now. Bye. I've used you for the attention that I need for today. Bye. I don't know. Like, at what point is King just gonna like give up, bro? Like, I feel like I feel like it would just be best for everybody to just move but, you know, I doubt that will happen. But yeah, it was very, 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 I don't know, very weird. Very weird to say the least. Okay. With that being said, the next one. I had this whole theory thing before we like went into the OVAs of like Dreyfus was not actually Dreyfus, and like he was actually the mastermind behind everything. And I feel like that's almost innately confirmed at this point, because he had the same marking as Meliodas. We had Hendrickson still being alive on that 0.0002% chance he lived, and he did. He flew away in that as a bird, aka his arm, and he reformed in. It's cool that our theory got confirmed. I just wish I made this video before that happened, but you know, is what it is. I feel like Dreyfus though has been the mastermind this whole time, like completely, because like after Hendrickson happened and the coffin of darkness, I'm gonna call it a tablet. I've been calling it a tablet this whole time, but the tablet disappeared right after the battle, you know, like perfectly convenient timing. And the only person in the show that had any connection or motivation up to that point, Hendrickson or a demon trying to revive the race, aka turned out to be Dreyfus trying to revive that. So I imagine he's been playing the long game and he's been here for quite a while. I wonder at what point he's been here pulling the strings and manipulating everything. The thing also is, if Meliodas is, you know, somebody who betrayed the demons and, you know, helped seal them away and make sure that, you know, the demon realm is locked up and whatnot, he would definitely be a person that's quite famous and hated in the demon realm, you would expect, right? Like, he would probably be a dude everybody hates. So this whole time, he hasn't, you know, gone over and killed him. He hasn't gone over and tried to slaughter this man and take the tablet for himself, take the final piece. So either, like, demons are weakened by not being in the, you know, their realm, like they're stronger in their realm and they're just weaker in this world, or Meliodas is just that much better than him. He's like a tier above him or something. I don't know, you feel like if he was, because he's got the same marking, so he's probably, you know, relatively same tier or whatnot, he must be weakened, because why else would you not just go over, slaughter him, take the thing, and then start the process? There's also a thing of like, he's keeping Hendrickson alive as well. Or like, why would you need Hendrickson if you're that tier of a demon, right? Because he only has just like the red blood and then the gray blood. Like, he must be weakened or must not be in enough of a state to be able to do it himself, because why else would he need Hendrickson? That's what I'm thinking. Did I have anything else to say about that man? I don't know. Yeah, I just think he's the mastermind behind everything. Also, the bird, aka Hendrickson, was going in the direction of like King Arthur and his spot and his, you know, his area. So I guess that's where like season 2 is gonna go, or like, because we are meeting up with them or something like that, I think. So that could be very interesting. I'm glad that he's gonna come back into the story, most likely. Oh yeah, also, I feel like there's gotta be something to do with Hawk, right? Like, every character, everything in the series is like, they're more or less gonna have an explanation with. And Hawk is a talking pig who's strong as, by the way, can take out some like knights and holy knights and like cash, and also didn't die, like crazy reach. Like, there's something, I have no idea what the going on with Hawk, but I like it. But I don't know what it is, but I like it. Like, I don't know what's going on, but there's something more to do with Hawk. There's gotta be, right? There has to be. Like, to do with the series, what we've seen so far, everything seems to make sense at one point. So I don't think it's just like a gag character, you know? I feel like there's an explanation behind it. What else? I feel like with the series a lot so far is like, they've kind of drove the point home of, there's like, no matter what side of the fence you're on, whether it's goddesses, whether it's demons, whether it's holy knights, whether it's sins, like, it's sort of the opposite of what you think, or there's potential for it to be opposite of what you think. Like, I currently don't trust the goddesses because I feel like there could be some terrible ones. The fact that, you know, the one that we talked to, or whatever it is, straight up tried to get Meliodas killed when he's clearly the one, you know, keeping everything under wraps and, you know, not letting the demons revive, even if they want to get revenge on him for what they did in the past. That still doesn't add up, you know? Like, I feel like there are bad goddesses, there are good demons. There are people we like on both sides. Both sides, we like them all. Okay, I feel like, is that everything I think it's most of my notes, to be honest. Meliodas is like the one character where I haven't taken notes of. I haven't gone back and looked through everything. But you know, bro is like crazy old. He's what, thousands of years old, and he definitely was there for the first Holy War, and either was the final thing to seal everybody off, or whatever it was. But he's definitely, you know, this dude's been alive forever and ever and ever. I feel like he's, in terms of like the tiers of demons, I feel like you got the red blobs, you got the gray lanky, and then you got whatever the hell the marking is on Meliodas and Dreyfus. So that should be like the tier above. I don't know, with Meliodas, I mean, the thing is, his sin is wrath, right? But for like all these things, I've sort of like gone back through the series and like looked at like sort of like times where I hinted towards stuff. Meliodas, I haven't yet, so we're just gonna raw dog our feelings towards this. I think his character is very telling of, he did some crazy, he either had regret about that and decided to switch sides, or got emotions and decided not to be a demon anymore type thing, and then switch sides. I don't know. I also think that Liz from the past is a literal reincarnation of current Liz. I feel like that's the way that they worded it. It seemed like that was pretty much confirmed. I just wonder, like, I haven't looked into the whole like kingdom that fell or whatever the hell happened there anymore. But I wonder if he did that. I wonder if that was because he couldn't control his powers. Was it like where he's like, if it's like the same thing, like he's not as strong as he was like in the demon realm, let's say, is like as if like more of his demon thing comes out, does he completely go back to being like evil? Is that how that works? Did the goddesses like trap him in this realm and, you know, take away his powers or something? Like it could go like in a billion different directions with him, but mainly seeing what his actual like sin is gonna be the most interesting thing, because I feel like his characters at the moment seems pretty straightforward from what is being presented to me. Feels like he did some in the past, he a good dude now, he wants to do the right thing. That's how it seems like. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to that. If I looked into it more, there might be. I might get more hints towards it, but honestly, we're about to start season 2, so yeah, I don't really want to. I don't want to spend another like half an hour going over it, so kind of just want to hop into the next season. But I think those are generally my thoughts on pretty much everything. Like overall, like King and Barn, I think they had great backstories. I think their motivations and the way they act in the seasons, and the season was great. Those characters added up perfectly. I feel like they have an opportunity with Gowther to switch him up. Merlin we don't know about. King Arthur I want to know more about. The demons are definitely going to get revived. I feel like that's almost a guarantee at this point that they're going to get revived and that thing's done for. I wonder how it's going to happen, and like, what, are we just going to be flooded with a ton of red blobs? Or are we going to be flooded with a ton of Meliodas marking tier characters? Or where does it go? I don't know. It's exciting either way. I think they explained Meliodas' sin in season 1, but I might be wrong if they didn't ignore me. See, the thing is with this series also, it's like, at the time, like all these like hints towards things, like I didn't really pay enough attention to because you don't really expect you to. But as we got like into the later half of the season, it's like, oh, it's sort of like One Piece where like it starts adding up, comes back around. So I feel like with going into the second season, I'm gonna like be paying more attention to like specific lines and like what characters say. I feel like more, because there's a chance for us to like, you know, theorize a little bit more what's going on rather than just being, you know, just a decent story just overall. Is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else I can think of. Oh, okay, there was one last thing actually. There was actually one last thing. I think these guys in the openings are all demons. Like beforehand, I thought they might have been like a mixture of, you know, demons, humans, goddesses, and all that. But now the fact that we've had Dreyfus and Meliodas have the marking and, you know, look regular, whether that means like, you know, a demon took over Dreyfus's body or impersonating or whatever it is. I think that everything in here is demons, and then these are all, you know, good ones. It's not just a mixture of everybody. So I feel like these are a bunch of characters that we'll see in the show. So like, I wonder like what tier all of these ones are. They don't all just look like red blob, yellow blob, red tall lanky blob. Like this dude looks kind of hard, broke off 4 arms, and they look kind of tough, you know what I mean? The series foreshadows a lot they didn't mention too much, and mostly that the destruction of Danforth had something to do with Meliodas. Yeah. The way they hinted towards it, I feel like from what I remember, was like, what is it? Just, it seemed like couldn't control his powers, did. I mean, or it could be, I mean, I feel like that's sort of where they were like hinting at it, but it could also be like, did that have something to do with like the demons trying to come back, or like goddesses trying to with, and then he tried to stop that, he couldn't. Like, I feel like the really telling thing in the series so far is just whatever you've like meant to think of like a thing, it's not going to be that way. Like how goddesses, they're meant to be good. I don't think they're good, or at least some of them. Demons are meant to be bad. I don't think all of them are bad. The sins, meant to be bad. Pretty good. The Holy Knights, meant to be good. Not so good. Some of them. So I feel like there's a lot of things like that where they're probably going to play with our emotions, and it's meant to be presented one way, but it's going to be differently. Yeah, if I had more time, I would have like gone back over like the Meliodas, so like I could have like some more theories on it, and actually like dive into like a lot of the things that he said. But I got no clue so we're not going to go back, and we have to start the next episode because we hit quite a few sub goals on Patreon, so we're going to do that. Anyway, boys, that's all I can think of at the moment. So yeah, let me know if you want to see, videos like this or my theories on stuff, like maybe after every season or just whenever, if you like this content or not. Let me know. Either way, check out Patreon for early and uncut reactions, and yeah, we'll be on to season 2, probably the next video you guys see. Bye.